Professor Froilan Calilong, ang aming pong suking political analyst dito sa DCRH. Prof, magandang hapon sa inyo.
Magandang hapon po, Prof.
Magandang hapon po at magandang hapon din po sa lahat ng ating mga taga-subaybay. Thank you po for having me again.
Of
Sir.
course. Yes, sir. Sisimulan ko na po ang unang tanong sa tatlong bagay. Ngayon pong may bagong liderato na ang Senado at tila na-legitimize na yung pag-upo bilang Senate President ni Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Ano ho ang inyong nababasa at nakikita na analisa? Una, sa mga pagbalangkas ng batas, lalo na yung mga executive agenda, legislative agenda. Pangalawa, itong flood control anomaly, Blue Ribbon investigation at sa impeachment. Sa tatlong yan, ano ang nakikita ninyong ma-achieve o anong nakikita ninyong magiging galaw ng bagong Senate leadership?
Well, basically, kung nakita naman po natin na ito nga, nagbago na nga po yung ating Senate leadership. It's now under Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. And basically, ito pong tatlong punto na binibigay nyo, Henry, these are actually the most contentious matters right now that the Senate really has to resolve. No? First and foremost, marami po talaga mga nakabinbin na mga pending bills and measures that I think really are very pressing at the moment dahil nga doon sa nagkaroon tayo ng standoff, nagkaroon ng stalemate, medyo hindi po talaga siya na-resolve ba. I think it's really imperative right now, especially on the part of the new leadership na mabigyan ng sapat na panahon at atensyon itong mga to. No? Apparently, medyo mahihirapan ito. It's gonna be quite challenging kasi nga sasabay ito dito sa pagsisimula ng pre-trial proceedings ng impeachment, gayon din naman yung sa maaring pagbubukas din ulit nung pagdinig regarding the flood control. Now, what is important here primarily is how the new Senate leadership, particularly Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, kung paano niya talaga i-manage dito itong napakahalagang aspeto nito na kinakailangan talagang tignan ng ating Senado at the moment. And dito natin makikita how well he will be able to navigate the Senate, especially in this very, very important times in this very important issues na kinakailangan nilang kaharapin.
But follow up lang before I give you to Karen. Sa tingin ninyo yung pinaka-pressing issues ng flood control anomaly, sa tingin po ninyo ito'y kanilang puspusang pangtatrabahuhin given the fact na sila na nga yung majority at sa tingin ninyo may kahihinatnan pa ba ito? Yung hinihinging mastermind, yung hinihinging malalaking isda na dapat makulong at managot, may kapapatukan pa ho kaya ba ito?
From all indications, mukhang matatabunan at matatakpan na naman po itong flood control ngayon. Remember nung panahon ni yung brief interlude that we had with Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, he really was very adamant about the flood control, the investigations, and yun nga kahit paano nagkaroon ng pagkakataon yung 18 yung ating 18 Marines na mailatag yung kanilang mga nalalaman tungkol dito sa flood control. Pero ito nga yung naging dahilan din kung bakit kung makikita natin pilit na maneuver nitong Gatchalian block, itong Senate leadership. I think this actually has the blessings of Malacanang so that they will be able to again redirect the investigation towards those things na medyo conveniente para sa kanila, basically. Kasi kung titingnan natin ang composition ng kasalukuyang mayorya ng Senado wala na namang pinagkaiba doon sa panahon ni Senator Tito Soto at ni Senator Ping Lacson na sila yung may hawak ng BRC. So wala tayong masyadong asahang pagbabago dito unless of course Senator Will Gatchalian will be open to the idea again of giving the Blue Ribbon Committee to the minority, either to Senator Alan Peter Cayetano or to Senator Pia Cayetano or even to Senator Dante Marcoleta. Yun naman yung sinasabi ni Alan Peter before, na sige, sa inyo na yung Senate leadership, I'll be more than willing to give the the Senate presidency, pero ibigay niyo sa amin yung BRC, which I doubt if they will be inclined to give at the moment. So wala akong masyado nakikita na tangible outcomes, particularly dito dahil nga yung mga binabanggit, no, lalong-lalo na ng 18 Marines, kabilang sa mayorya ngayon. Ano? I'm referring to Senator Tito Soto, Senator Ping Lacson, Senator Irwin Tulfo, and wala tayong masyado sigurong aasahan dito, no? And yun yung realidad na kailangan natin tanggapin with the change of the current composition ng Senate leadership.
Mhm. Prof, nabanggit nyo na dahil nga sa majority at syempre may bagong Senate President na ang ating Senado, sa tingin nyo po ba this will be stable enough para maitawid po natin yung mga mahalagang issues na kailangan pong tutukan? Kasi po meron din po mga umuugong-ugong na balita, may mga bulungan po, katulad nga po kanina yung na-discuss lang po namin ni partner on air bago po kayo sumalang sa interview, yung tungkol po kay Senator Christopher Bongo, meron pong threat o banta na meron daw siya di umano na ICC warrant. So this is quite similar to that of kung ano yung nangyari kay Senator Bato de la Rosa within the 28 days na si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano di umano siya ay yung leader po ng Senado. Ang dami po nangyari at isa na nga po dito ay nakatakas di umano si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Yung stability po, hanggang kailan po sa inyong palagay na makikita po natin ito after this new leadership?
Actually, ang stability kasi is actually contingent to how the new leadership will be able to stand on the principles in which the Senate actually stands for, no? Basically, kung maalala natin, binabanggit nila before, no, na merong mga nakaumang din naman na mga kaso dito kay Senator Joel Villanueva and Senator Chis Escudero.
Opo.
Ngayon, dito natin malalaman kung talaga bang nagkaroon ng palit-ulo, no, na kung saan kasi sabi ng ombudsman itong mga kaso na to hinug na, no, like 3 weeks ago pa yata to, so dapat na i-file na ngayon. Pero with the change of heart nito ni Senator Chis Escudero and Senator Joel Villanueva, makikita ba natin na iuurong ba itong mga kaso? So kung makikita natin yung maneuverings is very very clear, no, the orchestration is very very evident na kung saan kapag kaalyado ka, they really try to go soft on you, no, pero kapag alam na nandun ka sa kabilang bakod, na nandun ka dun sa sabihin na natin sa Duterte block or Duterte affiliated block, talagang lahat ginagamit, including weaponization of legal cases. So this is something na medyo kabang-abang ngayon kung papaano talaga to hihilutin, no, ni Senator Win Gatchalian para hindi magmukhang masyadong obvious na ang kanyang liderato meron talagang pinapanigan, lalong-lalo na dito sa issue ng impeachment, sa issue ng flood control at saka sa mga kahalintulad pa ng mga kaso, no? So this is something that we shall see, no, and hopefully Senator Win Gatchalian will be able to deliver ng walang masyadong pressure na manggagaling sa Malacanang at wala ring masyadong pagkiling doon sa kanyang mga kaalyado dito sa mayorya.
Yung nakaraan pong mga nangyari po na maaksyon na kumbaga tinatawag na nga po nila na Senate flicks. Ayan. Sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, ang laki daw po ng nalugi ng taong bayan dahil nga po sa nangyari. Do you agree with this? And ano po ba yung mga sa tingin ninyo yung mga hindi po o kumbaga yung hindi nagawang trabaho na napakahalaga during that time at ngayon ay kailangan tutukan na po ng bagong liderato?
Well, kung meron man talaga tayong ikinalugi rito, definitely, no, may mga pagkaantala naman talaga nangyari. We will not deny that, no, because may mga key agendas and key legislative bills talaga na hindi naupuan. Pero kung medyo nawalan tayo, I think we also gained something here, no, and the people was able to listen to the pronouncements, to the statements of the 18 Marines. which I think many people really were quite shocked, no? At medyo nabigla sila. And I think this now poses a challenge to the incoming or to the new leadership of the Senate on how they will be able to amplify on this, or are they just simply going to brush this aside? Kasi syempre kapag hindi nila to pinansin, bakit puro denial and deflection ang ginagawa, no? I mean, if there is really something like this at gusto natin talagang malaman ng katotohanan at gusto nating para pasinungalingan itong kanilang mga sinasabi o mga pahayag, di mas maganda na imbestigahan natin ng malaliman. Pero kung isa-set aside mo lang siya as a hearsay or something na wala talagang basehan at walang katotohanan, sa mata ng publiko, para mo nang sinasabi na maaring meron talagang katotohanan, ayaw lang nilang tignan.
Prof, this question I want to ask you as a professor, as part of the academe, and as a political guru. There's this observation na parang they're quite selective sa mga kakasuhan, sa mga kritiko na lalo na'y nagtatanggol doon sa 18 brave Marines, former Marines and soldiers, doon sa nagbubulgar ng flood control, doon sa nagsisisigaw na dapat makulong ang mastermind, pero karamihan sa mga obviously ay sympathizer ay nasasampahan ng kaso, napagbabantaan na iimbestigahan. Kayo sa academe, and siguro yung mga nakakausap ninyo sa sektor ng negosyo, ano ang inyong views and opinions on that?
Well, yun nga po, no, lumalabas kasi mayroon talagang maliwanag na pagtatakip sa katotohanan. At sa punto de vista ng ating mga kababayan, definitely, they really want to know the truth. And however, if the very instrumentalities and agencies tasked with uncovering the truth, no, so that we will be able to see it with our own very eyes, is not actually doing their job. Instead, they're trying to protect several personalities, several people, and sabihin natin yung mga key personalities dito, lalong-lalo na yung mga tinatawag nating mga masterminds and architects, wala po talaga tayong kakahinatnan, because remember, the resources and the ability to conduct this investigations rests solely on their own initiative to do so. So, madali po kasing sabihin na hindi ito totoo, o madaling sabihin na, o madaling pasinungalingan, pero yun nga po nangyayari, no, magsasampa ng kaso sila, lumalabas sila pa yung binabaliktad ngayon, pero mahalaga rin sana na tignan natin ano ba yung pinanggagalingan ng kanilang mga sinasabi. Are just mere allegations? If not, let's see. And the only way by which we could prove whether they're lying or they're telling the truth is by a full-blown investigation to the matter. Pero kung nga sabi ko kanina, hindi natin to papansinin, lumalabas maaaring yung perception, no, that it creates sa ating mga kababayan, maaaring may pinagtatakpan o may paglilihis na nangyayari. That is, I think, happening already for the longest time.
Itong mga nangyayari ito, binabanggit nyo nga kanina na very challenging ito, and malaking trabaho ang gagawin para kay Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian. I think this will define his political career in the next few years. Kasi as a Senate President, alam naman natin na pag ikaw ay Senate President, either you run for Vice President or you run for President. And kung itong mga pangyayaring ito ay magagampanan niya ng tama at mapatutunayan niya na hindi siya na mali yung hinala ng iba na baka siya maging rubber stamp lang ng Malacanang, sa tingin ba ninyo maaaring potential na may it can make or unmake the career of Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, right?
Yes, yes. Actually, I totally agree with that po. Make or break, especially right now that we are in a very, very critical juncture of our political history. So it could really be a defining moment for him. But that will depend, again, on how well he will be able to handle the pressure coming from various institutions, including the
Prof,
executive.
sorry to cut you off. How should he handle this? Favorable to the nation and favorable to his career?
I think what is supposedly favorable to the nation will definitely redound into something that will be favorable to his political capital, no, eventually. At nakikita ng taong bayan yun, ano. So, pero kung ang yun nga, no, kung ang iisipin niya rito is yung how he will be able to save the face of his allies, as well as those people, those powerful people behind this flood control scandal, dito, tingin ko matatapos din ng maaga ang kanyang political career, no? Because the people right now, talagang masasabi nating mulat na sa katotohanan, ano? Kahit sabihin natin na nandoon yung medyo political fatigue na nararanasan nila, medyo pagod na sila sa mga ganitong issue, no? Every now and then, pero nandoon pa rin naman yung kanilang pagtingin at pagkilala sa mga tao na sa tingin nila ay talagang humahanap ng hustisya para sa atin. And come election day, they will know and they will go to the polls armed with that power of the ballot to really remember, no, kung sino talaga yung mga tao na nagtakip doon sa katotohanan at kung sino na naman yung mga gustong isiwalat ito sa publiko para talaga maparusahan. So, ang medyo mahirap din dito kasi sa posisyon ni Senator Win Gatchalian is, number one, he is a neophyte Senate President, no, to begin with. And then, medyo, kung titignan natin, hindi rin naman ganun kasolido yung kanyang legislative track, no, as a senator, though he has been a senator for quite some time already. So medyo may kailangan talaga siyang patunayan. Pero dito, titingnan natin kung gaano ba kalakas yung pressure na manggagaling sa ibang institutions, and I will not mince my words on this, kasamang Henry, no? How well he will be able to mount the pressure coming from Malacanang.
Okay.
Okay. And siguro finally on my side naman po, Professor Calilong sir, yung implikasyon ng nangyari po nitong change of leadership, 'di ba nag-concede po si Senate President former Senate President Cayetano at may bago na pong SP, Senate President, which is si Senator Win Gatchalian. Pero meron po kasing final po, di ba, na petisyon na ang kampo ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano sa Supreme Court. So, in your expert opinion, Professor Froilan, sir, ano po ba ang nakikita nyo na magiging implikasyon po nitong mga naging aksyon, mga naging pangyayari, mga naging desisyon sa ating Senate leadership, sa mga pag-a-assign po, sa mga committees, at sa magiging president po sa mga future pa po na mga mangyayari po sa loob at labas ng Senado, Professor?
Well, I think yung pagpa-file niya sa SC is already moot and academic, no?
Yeah.
Hindi na to maaaring talakayin ng Korte Suprema because, like I said, we already have a Senate President. But as a matter of precedence, I think they could make or they could come up with a judicial decision on this or jurisprudence on this, primarily to actually set a good precedence, no, na later on maaari kasing lumabas na naman tong issue na to para hindi na mauulit, no. And I feel really yung ginamit nitong Gatchalian block na basis for them declaring a quorum is really outdated, no. I think it's really high time that the Supreme Court tries to come up with their own jurisprudence on this. Pero yun nga, medyo mahirap din talagang tignan dahil this is really a political question, ano. In most cases kasi the Supreme Court really doesn't want to meddle with a co-equal branch, especially on matters that are purely political. And ito yung titingnan natin dito, no, kung may sasabihin pa rin ba ang Korte Suprema or are they just going to be silent on the matter?
Prof, anong nakikita ninyo? Ma-achieve ba yung 16 for conviction? Acquittal, sa tingin ninyo anong basa ninyo sa bagong balangkas ng Senado? Diretso na tayo. Sa tingin ba ninyo titingin sila sa mga ebidensya, titingin sila sa mga dokumento because we all know for a fact that impeachment is a political thing, sui generis. Anong inyong basa? Talaga bang gagawin ng lahat? Yun ang sinasabi ng ilan sa ating mga kababayan. Ako, mukhang ako na yan. Gagawin ng lahat.
Thank you, Kasamang Henry. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Kasi if you're going to take a look at the orchestrations and the mechanisms in place, these are all in line primarily with, number one, trying to conceal the flood control, and at the same time trying to ensure that MVP Inday Sara will not be able to run for 2028. And I think they're really going to do everything. But as to the question kung kaya ba yung 16, medyo may hirapan pa rin, considering na yung numero kasi ngayon ang tinitignan natin nung nasa Duterte block. Pero it will depend on various considerations. Number one, are they going to allow participation even if they have cases already? Pero kung titingnan natin kasi, kaya nga nila minamadali yung mga pagsasampa ng kaso parang to render these people powerless to attend this impeachment trial proceedings. So, ibig sabihin talagang I think decided sila na wag paatanin itong mga senators that will be convicted. Kaya nga dapat hilingin din natin, Bakit si Senator Joel Villanueva at si Senator Jesus Cordero, which was already supposed to be filed cases, all of a sudden bakit wala yung mga kaso nila ngayon dahil bumaliktad sila. So, tingnan natin din yung angulo na yon. And we should also demand that the same thing be given to them. Kasi mahirap kung ang titignan lang nilang mga kaso yung mga kaalyado ng mga Duterte, pero yung mga bumaliktad na at umanib na sa kanila will go unscathed. That's going to be very, very selective. So, titingin ko, medyo mahihirapan pa rin naman doon sa 16. Especially if the Senate will allow itong mga may kaso to still attend and maintain their duties as senators of the Republic.
All right. Well said, Professor Froilan Calilong, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Prof.
Salamat po at mabuhay po.
Political analyst Froilan Calilong.
Balance.